Alright, and I'm back for another bonus video. This one, by request, is the original Hotline Miami, or if I can recall my Russian, that should be Goryachaya Linia. So, this is a much shorter game than Hotline Miami 2. It's also only one difficulty, so this should be a nice single segment run. This will be more play, less talk, so let's get right into it. This is just a short little tutorial, teach you how to play. Now, a funny thing here is that you can actually die in the tutorial, so just like that, it'll restart the introduction. Luckily, you can still skip cutscenes by holding down right mouse, so we'll just skip right to the beginning. And so now we're presented with the first of several, I don't know what you'd call them, dream sequences, I suppose would be the closest. We wind up in a room with three different characters. Rasmus the Owl on the right, who's supposed to be representative of the Russians we kill. On the left is Don Juan, who's representative of the hooker that we take on later in the game. And then at the top is Richard himself, who I believe is supposed to be parallel for the character himself, perhaps his more introspective side. So, as fitting for their personas, Don Juan is more comforting and compassionate, Richard is introspective, and Rasmus is hostile. Now we're brought back to Jacket's apartment, where we'll be spending the lion's share of the game when we're not out murdering gangsters. So now this prelude is more of a continuation of the tutorial. Someone was mentioning how we never get to see the silenced Uzi since Richter doesn't get one in the second game. So, to hell with it. Let's take it now. Ooh, that's a bad start. Takes a few rounds to get a kill with it. Enemies are a whole lot more bullet resistant in this than they are in the second, so you can't just one-tap them and hope for a kill. Ooh, that was embarrassing. One thing I really don't like about the first game, especially compared to the second, is that the hit detection feels a little wonky, especially with execution. If you move fast, you can skip that. Not that it matters. And so now we get to the first of the post-mission cutscenes. So for these, Jacket goes to visit a different store where he chats with Beard. And it's always Beard behind the counter, at least for now. And this is one of the, hints that something strange is going on. Because the story is actually an unreliable narrator. Or I should say it's told by an unreliable narrator, since it's something of, I guess you could call it a memoir. Basically, it's very unclear how much of all of this is actually happening, because the character Jacket is in a coma in a hospital. We'll find out why in a little while. But later on, reality will start to fall apart as the lines blur, and that's where you get a lot of the weird psychedelic stuff associated with the first game. Alright, so gonna show off one more gimmick mask, and that's Carl. One of my personal favorites because he gets the drill, which is absolutely horrifying. Beginning levels are easy, so there's nothing missed. Another thing is that, another difference between this and the second game is that enemy reaction times are much slower. And that's another reason why melee weapons are so good. You can easily, with the exception of the fat guys, which are of course immune to bullets, pretty much beat the entire game with just melee weapons. And as a matter of fact, that's what I did in my first playthrough. And I recommend it to everyone that hasn't done it already. In my opinion, it's the most satisfying and exciting way to play the game. One thing that always gets me about this, going back from the second game, is how character portraits are so much smaller. There's just something off about it. Alright, so now for the rest of the run, I'll be taking what's unequivocally the best and most fun mask in the game, Brandon. Brandon's great because he goes fast. Really, really, really fast. Bad start. I'm not liking the way this is going to turn out. There, finally. Son of a bitch. I think I got too used to the slow movement in Hotline Miami 2, and now suddenly going fast is messing me up. Ooh, katana. That's got a cool execution. There's a boiling hot pot of water here, which is kind of awful. And now we can see the corpse of another one of the operatives for 50 Blessings that was caught and murdered by the Russians. He actually has a mask on him, which you can pick up. I don't have the option though, since I've already got it. Alright, the third level is where things start to pick up. By and large, the enemy count... Wow. The sight range in this is a lot farther than I remember it being. Oh well. Just have to adapt. So yeah, the body count in this is a significant decrease from the second game, but the level design makes it feel like there's a whole lot more people than there actually are. And now we get our first boss fight. This guy's pretty simple. You shoot him with the shotgun and he dies. Rather painfully, I might add. And now we meet the hooker, who Jacket takes back with him and later on becomes his girlfriend. Just bang her head on the brick there. These conversations are a little awkward because they're also one-sided. But I think that bar one stands out especially. So, Don Juan and Rasmus are mostly there for flavor. Richard is the one who provides the real insight, but it's really all just cryptic hints. This one got parroted everywhere with the game. Now, question 4 is never explained. We'll figure out the answer to question 2 a bit later on. It actually depends on your choices. It can be either 50 blessings or something else. But as for question 3, that is some very subtle foreshadowing to the hospital that the character Jacket is presently in. This is one of my favorite levels. You can go awfully fast and cause quite a ruckus. Ooh, just a bit too slow. I probably shouldn't go for it. I'll bait the guys out instead. Wonder what's up with those guys. They just stopped pursuing randomly. Yeah, go figure. So, funny thing, these people will actually crawl forever until you snap their neck. Didn't notice that door was open. Headphone warning. And so we just killed Tony. He was the poor bastard wired to that bomb. The original Tony, anyways. I believe that unlocking this, or beating this level, unlocks his mask. I really love how quick the executions are, but the sound in them especially is great. Despite being so quick, they've got a very nice punch to them. I want to do an execution with the broken pool cue, but I don't think I'll get a chance here. Ooh, that was some bad luck. Try baiting these guys out with a shot, maybe then I'll get to do the execution. There we go. So enemy detection in the first game is actually quite interesting because the way it works is it's mostly random, actually. Ooh, that was bad. But after you come into their line of sight, there's a random amount of time before they spot you. One of my favorite things about the game is all the random and for the most part useless weapons scattered about, but they all still have their own executions, which is a nice touch. So now this level has Easter egg with the crowbar. So this here will unlock you the Jones mask, the alligator mask. It's a bit jarring. All that depressing talk and here's your order. See ya. So now Jacket keeps his newspaper clippings on the mattress since he's hiding them from the hooker, who's starting to recover. And now, if you pay attention, Jacket's apartment will actually change quite a bit as the days pass. Specifically, as the violence starts to affect him, and he loses touch with reality, you'll see a lot more violent hallucinations, in contrast with the apartment, which actually will become much cleaner and more well maintained. That is one of the developers from Denton. I can't remember whether that's Whedon or Soderstrom. They make a cameo as the phone guys, the ones responsible for this mess. Not a fan of this level because it's a shooting one. You pretty much have to. There's no way not to. And I know what it is, but shooting in the first game is hard. Like, really, really hard. So now, there's two ways to do this level. You can either run in guns blazing, but the way you're supposed to do is sneak around. And there we see the other half of Denton. And onto the balcony. So let's do it the fun way. Luckily there's a fire axe here. Got the poor bastard on the toilet. Almost feel bad for him. We of course see in the second game that this is absolutely true. I really like all the different scenarios that they can try for the phone calls. All of the calls sound completely different, and none of them like they're repeating themselves. This is one of my favorite levels. It goes really fast, like you blink and you miss it fast, and it's got a nice tempo to it. I can just pick up that damn shotgun. Show off the brick execution here. The shotgun's amazing like that because if a single pellet impacts, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. And you can take a human shield in this. You move a lot faster when you have one. This is the phone we're supposed to pick up on. Must have run into a glitch. Ah well, should be able to blast through this right quick. Ooh, and we get a fire axe. That must be an apology from the game. Fire axe has got a cool execution, which I just fucked up. Ooh, that was bad. There we go. Now should be able to answer the phone. I bet it didn't let me because I had that human shield. They're a little weird in this game, and even after all the patches, unlike the second game, the first one is still kind of unreliable. Hopefully it won't crash partway through the run, knock on wood. And now we get our second boss fight, Biker. Ooh, that was embarrassing. Biker's got nice movement patterns, which I like, and he should be easy with Brandon, but the funny thing is, his movement actually scales to yours, which makes it very easy to make a mistake, run a bit too fast, and then bam, he's on you. Just like he nearly was for me there. And now Biker will just crawl all the way around the room and make laps along the walls until you get to him. And Jacket does that. Pay attention to the scene. This is Jacket's interpretation of it. We'll see a different version later on. Now, Beard's words here are prophetic, because Biker was actually hot on the trail of figuring out what was going on and stopping it. San Francisco is the nuclear devastation that killed Beard. I'll explain each of those when we see them. Someone tell me, is DJing really like that? Because that sounds pretty kick-ass. Man, could not get that punch to save my life. One of these floors one of these stairwells leads to a gun area, and one leads to a normal floor. I'm trying to remember which is which. Luckily, I got the normal floor. Ooh, I wonder if I'll get a chance to do a machete decapitation. Yep. Same as the Suns in the second game with the machete, only difference is that one's slower. Want a good gun for the next floor. The claw hammer execution is brutal. I'll see if I can show that one more time. Jesus, look at that. It also makes for a great melee or ranged weapon. Must really put some power into it to just instantly kill a guy on impact. And this is the first sequence where we blatantly break the fourth wall. And now we can also see a bit of foreshadowing in the presence of Richter in the bathroom. He'll be a bigger figure later on. And note how much nicer Jacket's place has become with a little feminine touch. I especially like that phone call because it sounds like it really is just a legitimate call about an open house. Not the solicitation for what it actually is. Ooh, that was close. But I'd say it worked out pretty well. I'll try and do a full loop on this one and see if I can kill everyone. The police are scripted to show up after you kill a certain number of people, the majority of them. The key thing about guns is that the bullets actually start, I guess, having collision, you could say, much further away in the first game than they do in the second. You can almost use them as a melee weapon in the second, but not here. Ooh, I missed one. I'll have to get him on the way out. There we go. So the guys that just breached were SWAT officers, and they can't be killed. You just have to escape. And now we see Richter, and we see how he's killed Beard. Now I think this is supposed to be representative of something, another one of those things wrapped up in metaphor, since I don't believe Richter actually appeared to jack it in this way, blatantly making himself known like that. It certainly doesn't fit his MO as we see in the second game. I think it's more Jacket's unconscious realization of Richter, shadowing him, or something along those lines, but mileage may vary. That's just what I think. But the someone is not who you think he is, that's pretty clearly Richter, as we'll see in a couple levels. Now this is probably the most criticized level in the entire game, especially in light of the second game, because it's what a lot of the design criticisms in the second game were referencing. Basically that all of the other levels had turned into this. Luckily, those guys didn't see me right next to him. Ooh, I forgot there's a second guy with a gun there. Oh, that was unlucky. I wonder if I can get all of these guys with... Ooh, a little too slow. Let's try doing it the fun way. Couldn't time that second punch right though. One more try. There we go. Played that badly though. Oh well, it's time to get serious. I want a good gun with lots of ammo for this next one. This is one of the most tedious levels in the whole game. Luckily that shotgun makes it go a lot faster. You'll note that this is about the first one we've seen, which has got those huge floors compared to a relatively short view distance. Couldn't quite pull that one off. Uh-oh, dog there. Luckily that guy picked up my empty shotgun. That should be almost everyone here. Of course, there's probably gonna be a dog that sneaks up right behind me. I guess that's all of them. There's Jake. Rip Jake. Probably should have got a gun for this, but oh well. That works too. Now, compared to all the levels we played on before, that one was huge. But compared to the second game, it's actually only about normal size. You might even go so far as to call it small. Now we can see another place where Richter is killed Beard and taken over, upsetting Jacket's little comfort bubble. So now we can see that the beds have been pushed together, indicating that Jacket and Hooker have almost certainly become romantically involved. It's all downhill from here. Unfortunately, a human shield doesn't always protect you. The advantage is more in the movement speed, and once you get hit when you have a human shield, you can't move until you execute your current one. Even though I shot that guy like 3 times, I still didn't kill him. And unfortunately, it took my... Ooh, I couldn't even take that guy for a shield. Maybe it's for the best though. Oh, that was tough. Almost. You know what, I'm just gonna use the bat for everyone I can. First though, I gotta get that guy. And that guy. Now I should be able to use the... Ooh, that was close. Another split second and it would have been all over. Really, I'm using guns a lot more than I should, just because of what the second game did. Supposed to be a level clear, it's not. Surprise! And he even burned his own guy alive. I gotta say though, I am loving that duo. It's a shame what has to happen to him. Well, maybe not has, but what does happen to him. look who it is. Richter, yet again. Blood trail, indicating what almost certainly happened to Beard. Can also see a 50 Blessings logo in the corner there. This one's different. All the other acts started with us going to a room with Richard and Don Juan and Rasmus. This one has Richter with a gun. And Hooker dead. Confirmed dead. Deader than Elvis. Of course we can't just turn around and walk away. We gotta walk in and get shot. Richter's so lackadaisical, it seems almost uncharacteristic. Hooker's still dead, but now we can't walk in. Instead, we have to go to our own corpse. Hooker, of course, is the someone who is taken from us, and in just a moment, we'll get the answer to the final question. Now, Richard's words here, they mean that we'll never find the cause of the phone calls and what was happening. And the reason for that is because we didn't pursue it. Instead, we killed Biker, the only guy who was looking for the truth. And now, we wake up. Surprise! We've been in a hospital, in a coma. Maybe not the entire time, but for most of the game. Meaning that these events have all been remembered in the coma, and even many of them just flat out imagined. Note it's July 21st, and we woke up in a bigger bed. And now we get a forced stealth section. I will say one of the best things about Hotline Miami 2 is they got rid of the stealth section in this. If you play it right, you can skip most of the bullshit in the level, but I went slowly, so it'll be tricky here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to swing it. No, I don't think so. I'll have to take the long way. Hopefully that won't be too long. Oh, and you don't move in a straight line either. You just slowly shift from side to side as you move, which makes it all the more troublesome. So now you're supposed to go up into one of the rooms, take a long pathway around, but if you time it right, you can skip all of that, but it's awfully tricky. And I may have just screwed it up there. We'll see. Barely. I'll give it one more shot this way, and if it doesn't work, I'll take the long way around. So pray that it works. Nope, no dice. Unless I can cross here, but I don't think I can. Oh, maybe I can. So I actually should be able to do it the fast way. Ah, son of a bitch. Ah, fuck it. I'll just take the slow way. This is also about the worst part of the game for speed running. Finally. Oops, forgot about him. Luckily, there's a new checkpoint. That's strange, another glitch. Can probably just run past that guy if I go for it. But no need. Man, I cannot catch a break. Alright, let's get out of this godforsaken level. Luckily, you can move quickly through this floor. The timing's a little tight, but it's consistent as all hell. Seems that we've been gone for a while, and quite a bit has happened in time since. We can see a 50 blessings mark here, indicating that they've been through at some point. There's a chalk outline from where Hooker died. But none of that matters. Now we're getting serious. Hooker's dead, and our place is completely trashed. I'm not sure what that red stuff is in the fridge. I've never been able to figure that out. Surely it's not like meat from a corpse or something, but I can't imagine what else it would be. But I digress. Now we get vengeance. And this is probably my favorite level in the whole game. It flows really well, and because of the design, it's always got something going on. You can also make crazy plays and do stupid shit like that. But you can't hang out in the center area too long. Otherwise, one of the guys randomly wandering around will wander outside the door and bam. Get a bullet in the back of the head when you're least expecting it. So you gotta be fast and proactive. But the second floor is really the good one. And this is actually the one you want to bring a gun for. Fortunately, I didn't think to this time, but there's still fun to be had. If I can hit my bloody shots, that is. Couldn't time that quite right. I'll just kill the guy. You know what, fuck it. Let's bring a gun for the next floor. I got a feeling I'm gonna regret this, but whatever. Ooh, glad I caught that guy. Those two were going to respond to the gunfire from up top. They were previously in the evidence room. Now the way to beat this is pretty easy. You just run back and forth and bam. It's like supposed to be a boss fight, I imagine, but it's much easier than that. Now there's a neat little trick here. Normally you're supposed to get the keys on that top left table, but you can just punch Richter through the wall here. So So now we'll totally sequence break with that. Here are the keys we were supposed to grab that would let us open the door to get to him. And here's the file he was talking about. Voila. And now, canon states that we don't execute him, but we'd be deprived of that little horrible animation. And, by the way, for any of you playing, Richter's mask is on the table there at the top left if you want to grab it. Lets you start with that suppressed Uzi we saw in the prelude. Prelude? Whatever. Yeah, Jacket, being Rambo-like, just took out an entire police station so he could get at the guy that killed his girlfriend. Don't fuck with him. Now, Jacket is so blind with rage that he doesn't read between the lines and notice that the place that he's going to, the club, that's been linked to mob activity, has been linked to mob activity by other members of the Russian mob, which would mean that if they actually were the ones that made the phone calls, that they were calling all these people to have them kill members of their own group, which of course makes no sense. This is a lot easier if you can swing a shotgun, but I'll just have to make it work. The tough part is the fat guy there. He's gonna be tricky to deal with. Wait. Automatic with full ammo, just what I needed for him. Oh, that was embarrassing. I am personally ashamed. There we go. Gotta be careful about that last guy. He's got very quick reflexes. Just instantly turn and pop you. Unless you free fire him, of course. I don't know what it is though, but the guys taking piss always have faster reflexes than, well, about everyone else. I got to stop using guns. They never do anything for me. Close one. Ooh, right, I forgot you need a gun for that one. I don't think I can get to it without those guys knowing, so I'll just go back to this one. Strange that I was able to get that guy through the door. Some awfully fortuitous timing there. You'll note there's a revolver in the guy's drawer. He probably would have been better off going for it. Wow. Pay attention to this floor. We'll see it again sooner than you think. This one's well designed so that you have to grab the coach gun and you have to kill each of these guys with it, so there's no chance for you to have any spare ammo you get to here. Now, in the second game, when we clear out the vault, or I should say the bank, playing as the Sun, we see all these characters in the vault when we get there. I think it's supposed to imply that the Sun's doing everything he does for them, or in their memory. That is the picture of Beard that Beard gives Jacket at the end of Casualties, the level at the nuclear power plant, where Barnes dies and he's badly injured. So this game's awesome, but credits are tedious. Pretty much everything of importance was made by Soderstrom, Jonathan Soderstrom, Dennis Whedon, or Jordan Fair. Now we get a little bonus. We get a what if. If I recall correctly, this guy here, Aubrey, is the 50 Blessings operative that we see get tortured to death, or see the remains of, in like the second or third level. So now, playing as Biker, he is really good at what he does, which makes the whole thing a little tedious. I fucked up there since you gotta get a throw just right and I didn't bother to lock on, but I should get it this time. Basically, he's got his big ass butcher's knife and he's got 3 knives that he can throw. And he just runs through Russians like a meat grinder. But because he can't pick up or change any weapons, in my opinion, he's the least interesting character. The game loses a lot of that frantic, exciting appeal. I gotta say, I love the look of this place. Like, seriously, Biker has got one bangin' bachelor's pad. Oh, also take note, he got the 50 blessings newsletter as well. And I'm curious, what is that? Is that supposed to be like a leopard statue? Because it is kicking rad. Whatever it is, looks pretty awesome. I kind of want to get one myself. Anywho, let's kill some people. Oh, and Biker has a bunch of different executions. Rarely see any of them though, because it's hard for him to knock people down without killing them. Ooh, didn't see that dog. I got lucky he was caught on that wall. Now I saved all my throwing knives for these guys. It's awfully finicky. You gotta nail them just right. And you can't loop around because this arcade machine thingy, crane game, will slow you down too much. Small pad for his roommates, though. I think it would get a little crowded, especially if they're all sharing the bed. But you know what? If that's the cost of a green leopard skin rug, then so be it. Now, instead of doing our appointed task, we're going for a little detective work. You can kill as many or as few people here as you want. The only person that you have to kill is this guy. And now we get to fight Jacket. This is a really easy one. All you have to do is intercept him before he gets the golf clubs. So let's do it. Another really easy way. It's a good thing he didn't have those throwing knives when we fought him. And look where we are. Seem familiar? It should, because this is the club we're at, where Jacket bashed that poor guy's head in. And now, depending on what we do, we get two different endings. A normal ending and a secret canon ending. We'll see the secret ending in a bit. For now, let's take a look at the normal one. I love how absolutely insolent they are, even though they know that something like that or that is gonna happen. But they just don't care. It's a little jarring, but I don't know, there's something to be said for it. So that's Hotline Miami 1, the most of it. However, there are also 2 bonus levels as well as that secret ending. So, first off, let's check out those levels quick. And let's change it up, try something different. Let's do Oscar. Bad start, but sure we can get it this time, or maybe this time. Down there, hopefully I got him. Damn, missed the punch. There's a guy with a shotgun or some such down at the bottom left, which I really want to avoid. No idea where he came from though. It's like he looped all the way around for me. Hopefully that won't happen this time. Be careful about those guys pissing. They're always the fastest on the draw. And one more. I got a bad feeling about this guy. I'll try and pull him over. Maybe I can. Ah, my eyes. That sudden shift is awfully jarring. I have no idea what the fuck these guys are on about. But we can't get to him. I don't think there's a way to get behind the counter since they got one of those little rope fences up. Alright, so that wasn't a great performance, but I think there's potential to do worse. So, let's try an even tougher mask this time. Ooh, didn't see him. A lot of guns for pickup here. They all just sort of line up to file in. Almost feels like cheating. That's one thing that's decidedly less interesting about this level. You can just skirt around the edge if you're a little bitch like me, and it takes all the challenge out of it. Well, besides using a mask that reverses controls, of course. that was the last Russian mobster we're gonna kill. So now for the secret ending. Let's see here. So, in order to get the ending, what you have to do are find a bunch of little tiny Scrabble tiles scattered throughout the levels. There's about one tile per level, and they're really a bitch to find since they're so small. But once you get all of them, then you can put them in place here and get this little passphrase, which will unlock the secret ending. So, normally when Biker tries to access the computer, he sees this and he gives up. But this time, and just like that, he's in. But it's more fun to show than tell, at least as much as you can, so we'll hear it direct from the two responsible. And notice the immediate change in their tone as well as their perspective, now that Biker's got the advantage. And then their faces change entirely as well. And it's funny how they turn from shit-talking and insults into these dour, severe patriots, just like that. The message in the game is very nihilistic. And so that's Biker saving the world, or saving the world if he kills those two. But this never happens, of course, since he's stopped by Jacket in some capacity during that phone home level, Neighbors. So in a way, Jacket kind of indirectly kills almost everyone on Earth, but that's neither here nor there. What that was Hotline Miami. Hope you enjoyed watching, and stay tuned for my next LP, which I'll be starting shortly.